Good morning. I'm going to kind of briefly go over the major points in this chapter or this part of the chapter. So, chapter 9.5 to 9.7. Three issues we're going to talk about. um, Calculating project cash flows as cash flow from assets. We're going to talk about things like sensitivity and scenario analyses. No, in fact, until the end of semester, I'm not going to do attendance. I'll give you guys 100% on attendance and participation because we got disrupted. So I don't want to get into all of that, which means you get what, 25 points for free. And we're going to talk about managerial options and a little bit about uh, capital rationing. Now, in terms of project cash flows, you remember those cash flows that I told you somebody gave you in chapter 8? We're going to calculate them as operating cash flow minus net capital spending minus change in net working capital. And remembering that for net capital spending, we're going to think about all the costs, capital costs, plus any opportunity costs, but we're going to ignore some costs. For operating cash flow, we're going to look at the incremental sales, incremental costs, which means we're going to figure out side effects as well. And just to remind ourselves, OCF is net income plus depreciation. And net income is net sales minus net variable costs minus fixed costs minus depreciation times 1 minus tax rate. All right. Let's go ahead and do an example. I did one on my class yesterday, so I'm just going to copy that one. I think this is in one of the videos as well, but just to illustrate the points. Actually, let's make up an example. Suppose you have a project with 7-year life. You need equipment worth $700,000, subject to 10-year maker's depreciation. You estimate You can sell it at the end of project for $200,000. You also need $300,000 in net working capital to support the project. You expect sales of, let's say, $500,000 a year, but the new product is expected to reduce the sales of existing products by $200,000 a year. Variable costs are 45% of sales, and annual fixed costs are 50,000. Tax rate is 22%. Discount rate is 15%. Did I leave anything out? No, that's it. I can ask questions like, what is projects NPV, IRR, payback, discounted payback? All right, let's start with the simple stuff. Year zero net capital spending. I'm spending 700 grand on the equipment, so I'm just gonna put that in. That's easy. Change in net working capital is 300. Obviously, OCF is zero in year zero, and CFFA is gonna be negative $1 million. For years 1 through 7, I'm gonna calculate the OCF. Net sales are, my new product gets me $500,000 a year, but there's a side effect. I'm going to have a decline of 200 grand on my existing sales. So net sales is 300,000. Variable costs are 45% of sales. If I don't misremember the number I put in, yes. So that's going to be $135,000. Fixed costs are I say 50. Yeah. Depreciation, that's going to vary by year because it's makers. That means we're going to have to go ahead and use our template. So let's go to our template file. We're spending 500,000. Tax life is 10 years. It is makers, so I'm going to enter through here. Since we're going to calculate salvage value anyways, we might as well do it now. We're going to get the salvage in year 7. Tax rate is 22%. And I think I said 200,000 for that. Let's check. Yes. So these are our depreciation amounts, and we also, as a byproduct, know the after-tax salvage. Let me go to this sheet. I kind of set this up. Let's see. Let me get rid of all of these. Hmm? Yeah. I mean, I posted that attachments to quiz, attachments to problems. Okay, let me put in some inputs here.